Tell me who is a heretic you admire.
Heretic I admire. You mean someone who goes against the grain of things? Oh, I'd say Douglas Murray. I think Douglas has performed a major service by writing the great books he's written, actually. And also was, I'd say, far more courageous at a time when many people weren't actually standing up.
Do you think that people might listen more to him than Tommy Robinson, even if they give out some semblance of the same message, just due to class, perhaps?
That's a good question, actually. Would they listen to him more?
Might he make more indents?
I think possibly. Because the thing is that, and I don't mean to be negative about this, but demonstrations are important, protests and demonstrations, but they only take you so far. If you can reach people by a best-selling book, then I think that is, worth its weight in gold.
I think he has had a book out just now, Tommy, which he tweeted as being from prison. I think that's like number one.
Yes.
I don't know. You never know with these number one categories what that really means. But I think a lot of people will be reading it. But yeah, it's something I think about a lot of, and how important it is. Obviously, it's unfair because some people have that education and some don't. But how to be a good orator, to be able to speak well, whether that's Obama or Trump. I mean, Trump speaks well. In a roundabout way.
You mean it's important for anyone? It absolutely is. I think what's gone against Tommy Robinson, which is the most disgraceful reason, is he's working class.
Yeah,
and I think that basically they are working class people in Britain now are the most demonized. There's almost nothing you can't say about them. And essentially, we've seen the reemergence, or maybe it was always there, of outright snobbery, right? And you see it. Well, we've talked about the deplorables and the garbage. It was the American people were called by the Democrats. You've had the same sort of thing here. I was very heavily involved in the Brexit campaign, and anyone will tell you. I mean, basically, people who vote Brexit, bigots, you racists, you're thick. We've got college degrees. How many college degrees have you got? It literally came down to that.
Pathetic. Pathetic. Journalists, the most over-educated, journalists like us, I suppose, the most over-educated profession, all the college degrees.
Well, yes, but also college degrees doesn't mean what it once did anyway. It just means actually you've had basically you've been through the indoctrination process.
Yeah, and box ticking as well. You're a box ticker. With Tommy Robinson, I think there's no vindication at any point because he said this was happening. He said there was one mosque in Luton when he was a kid, and there are now 40.
Yes,
and there's no point where people go, you know what, mate, fair enough. You were right. Let's listen.
Yeah,
he just gets thrown in prison. Perhaps rightly. I don't quite understand the full details of why or But
this recent one,
yes.
Oh no, that's undoubtedly true. I mean, I think the thing is very little is open to ordinary people when it comes to protesting and making their voices felt about these very fundamental things. Very little is actually open to them. And I think that it is with Tommy Robinson, undoubtedly, he's been demonized, to the extent that I think people just simply call him racist or whatever. It seems to me that all his concerns have been about basically Islam, right? But he's, so that's quite distinct. I don't see him as being racist. You interviewed him.
I searched long and hard because I knew I'd get criticism, and I thought I need to make sure to take him to task a little bit because he was, when I was growing up, basically the face of racist evil. That's what I thought. So I thought there must be something. There was one video I was able to find actually after I'd interviewed where he used a sort of shortened Pakistani word that we see as a slur here. And other than that, absolutely no, certainly nothing ideological or in terms of a manifesto. I'm sure he's probably used horrible nicknames and things about all other kinds of people, because that's the kind of life he grew up in. It was around a lot. He was into his sort of boxing clubs and these kinds of pubby kind of scene that I wasn't really, I don't know much about. But I found nothing to suggest that he saw different races as lower or more inferior to him. Everything was the belief system of Islam. So.
Yes, I think, as I said, I mean, to repeat myself, I think that you can utterly demonize working class people now, and on not just on that subject, but on a whole host of other subjects. I mean, we talked about multiculturalism earlier. I do think that for multiculturalism to work, it had to have a kind of common enemy, and in some ways it was the working class people who were sort of became the de facto enemy.
I think that's a great point.